City sailing, I want to talk about rules of the road, navigation lights. If you haven't seen our first rules of the road tutorial, I suggest you watch that one first, because this one is dedicated specifically to navigation lights. Just to recap on our last one, so we've got two vessels here, J-class yachts. We've got A and B. Which one should give way, A or B, and why? I suggest you pause it here before you move on. So the answer is A is on port tack, B is on starboard tack. A should give way. No vessel has right of way. There's a stand-on vessel and a give way vessel. So A is the give way vessel, should either tack or go around the stern of vessel B. This one here, clearly something's gone wrong here. Which vessel should give way, A or B, and why? I suggest you pause if you want to answer, and then see we've got the answer. So here we go. Who should have given way? Well, both boats are under power. B should have given way. A was crossing from the right. So if you look at the diagram to the left, imagine the navigation lights. If you look at A, his port side would have been red, so B would have seen his red navigation light. If you see red, give way. If you see green, stand on. Also, A should have given way, because the rules also say if a risk of collision deems to exist and the give way vessel has not given way, you should take action to avoid a collision. So both are in the wrong, but B should have initially given way beforehand. So rules of the road, lights and shapes, city sailing. Let's look at some lights on the vessels. So if we look at our basic navigation lights, on the left you'll have a red light, on the right you'll have a green light, on the back you'll have a white light. So the diagram there shows you the angle of the red light, which is 112.5 from the bow, and the green light, which is also 112.5 on the right hand side or starboard side from the bow, which leaves the stern light with an arc of 135 degrees. So it's quite important to have this image in your head with red on the left, green on the right, white on the back, and it helps us with our rules of the road. So lights for sailing boats. So lights for sailing boats. So basic lights, if we look at the left-hand picture, we've got red on the left, green on the right, white on the back, and that is a light for a sailing boat. If you look at the right-hand picture, it's the same. Red on the left, green on the right, white on the back. But what this is a light at the top of the mast called a tricolour light. The advantage of that, you've only got one lamp at the top of the mast, saving power, and also it's higher up. The middle picture is what you show when you put the engine on. When you put the engine on, engage into gear on a sailing boat, you become a motorboat. So for a motorboat, we'll have a steaming light. That steaming light will be above the red and green, and it will be the same arc or angle as your red and green. And you'd still have stern light in its original position at the back of the boat. So if we look at some of the lights, you've got your single light with red and green lens on the left-hand side. It's called a bicolour on the front of the boat. Or you can have them split either side on the right-hand side with green on the right and red on your left. Port and starboard, bow navigation lights. You could have them LED if you wish, and you can, or you should carry emergency lights. So if your navigation lights go down, you've got emergency navigation lights with batteries that you can clip on. So boats under sail, as we said before, red on the left, green on the right, white on the back. And if you look straight on for a vessel that has individual port and starboard lights, looking straight on, so this is a sailing vessel, looking straight onto their bow, we'll see the port light and the starboard light. So it's a vessel under sail, looking straight on. So if the boat's going with the boat direction arrow, from the left to the right, we'll see the starboard hand light. So that's a vessel under sail from the starboard side. Facing the other way, a vessel under sail from port side. Looking from the back, vessel under sail from the stern. So lights of boats under engine, we've got the port, the starboard, the stern, and we add a masthead light. So that's a 3D version of the picture that we had before. So a sailing vessel, using its motor, even if the sails are still up, it's classified as a power-driven vessel. So as soon as you engage your engine into gear, you cease to become a sailing boat and you become a power-driven vessel. And you need to follow the rules of power-driven vessel and the lights of a power-driven vessel. So power-driven vessel, from the front, will have port, starboard, steaming. A power-driven vessel, from the starboard side, will have the starboard light and steaming light. And the arrow shows the boat's direction. Swap the boat's direction, power-driven vessel, from the port side, steaming light, port light. Stern light, exactly the same, just a white light. Anchoring. If we anchor, we've got to put different lights up. So an anchor will be an all-round white light. So vessel at anchor, all-round white light. There we go, vessel at anchor. So anchor lights are positioned forestay halfway up the mast or on the top of the mast. So on this one here, you hoist it up on a halyard and you have your light. Most boats now will have a fixed light on top of the mast. So traditionally you'd have your oil lamp so you don't drain your batteries and put it at anchor on the forestay. So here we've got these vessels at anchor and they have the electric lights on top of the mast. So it could be confused with stars, and if there's loads of boats in the anchorage, it gets a little bit confusing. So if you see a lot of white lights, slow down because you're probably going through an anchorage. So tricolour on sailing boats, we briefly covered this. So vessels under 20 metres, sailing can show a tricolour light. Let me explain. So at the top of the boat, we can put a port, starboard and stern for a sailing vessel. It means we're using less power and it also puts it up higher so it could be seen further. If you've got your port and starboard on the front of the boat, every time your front of the boat dives into a wave, you lose your navigation lights in the wave. So they'll look intermittent or flashing on and off to anybody looking. So if you're a sailing boat, it's much better when you're sailing to put your tricolour light because you'll be visible for a lot further. So that shows the normal light dipping in the waves and tricolour light higher up. So head on, tricolour light, starboard side, port side, stern. So if we've got a tricolour light, we must be really careful not to use it with any other lights because it gets really confusing and it's wrong. So if we put the tricolour light with our steaming, port, starboard and stern, it's just wrong and it will confuse everyone. So look at some day shapes, so shapes we showed during the day on sailing boats. So on the left is an anchor ball. So if we anchor, we hoist that up the rigging and it will show that we're anchoring. On the right, it's an upside down cone and it shows that we're motor sailing. So if we go sailing, the wind drops, we get rid of our jib or front sail, we pull our main in to stop it flapping, and we decide to motor, we don't want to drop the main, we have to show the inverted cone to show that we're motor sailing. There we go, better picture of it. So sailing vessel with sails hoisted and using motor should hoist a cone forward of the mast to show that you're motor sailing. And it shows everybody else that you're motor sailing and you're following the rules of the road as a motorboat. So at anchor, you would show a black ball. And here's some examples of vessels with the black ball showing that they're anchored. So optional lights for larger sailing boats. When I say larger, over 12 metres. So as a sailing boat, we can show an optional light of an all-round red over an all-round green. And the advantage of this is that it shows to people straight away, hey, we're a sailing boat. We're not a motorboat, we're a sailing boat. and other vessels should keep clear of us. So if we look at this square rigger here, if you didn't have the all-round red over green, all she would show would be a red port, green starboard, white stern. But obviously the vessel's very big, difficult to manoeuvre, and to show that she's a sailing boat and not a motorboat where the steaming light's broken, it would show an all-round red over green to avoid confusion. So if you're a larger boat, sail training boat, it is well worth to have your all-round red over green. And here it is, a large vessel under sail, more than 12 metres long, with optional lights at the front. So that's bow on, that's on the starboard side, that's on the port side, and that's from the stern. Because the lights on the top, the optional all-round lights, are all-round red over green. So lights for vessels that are under motor. So on the left here, we'll work from the left to the right. Vessels under motor, under 7 metres, under 7 knots, can show an all-round white light. A vessel under motor, under 12 metres, can have an all-round white light, which will show the steaming light and the stern light, but it's combined. Also, your port hand red light and your starboard hand green light. So if your vessel under motor, over 12 metres, under 50 metres, you need to separate your steaming light, so you'll have your port, starboard, stern and steaming light, as per the right hand diagram. So the vessel, the lights, motor vessels and sailing vessels under engine, they're the same, because a sailing boat under engine is a motorboat. So vessels under motor, length under 12 metres, port, starboard, all round white. Vessels under motor, length over 12 and under 50, port, starboard, stern, steaming light. And that's what it will look like from the front, port, starboard, steaming light. Starboard hand side, starboard light, steaming light. Port hand side, port light, steaming light. Stern light, white light. So lights for larger boats under motor, over 50 metres. So over 50 metres, exactly the same as before, but an extra steaming light. So we've got port, starboard, 2 steaming lights and stern light. So lights for vessels under motor, over 50 metres, underway. Same as before, port, starboard, stern light, 2 steaming lights. And the steaming light towards the back will be higher than the steaming light towards the front. So looking straight on, port, starboard, 2 steaming lights. If you're looking at port aspect, you'll see the port light, 2 steaming lights. Starboard aspect, starboard light, 2 steaming lights. So some vessels will have them because they're designed in different positions. So this RYA or roll-on, roll-off ferry over 50 metres will still have the 2 white lights, but they're based a little bit towards the front or bow of the boat, as in the diagram below. So it's not always obvious when you see a vessel. So from the bow, you'll see the 2 steaming lights, port and starboard light, power-driven vessel over 50 metres from the front. Starboard hand side, power-driven vessel over 50 metres from the starboard. Starboard light, 2 steaming lights. From the port side, power-driven vessel over 50 metres from the port, you'll see the port light, 2 steaming lights. From the stern, just like all the others, you'll see just the stern light. Lights for vessels over 50 metres at anchor. So the front anchor light will be higher than the stern anchor light. It's all round white light, show their anchor. And this is from the port. Vessels, lights of vessels over 100 metres anchored will have the anchor light, 2 anchor lights, and all the deck lights will be lit up. So it just means that if they're over 100 metres, we can see the whole boat, and we're not going to go between the 2 white lights thinking it's safe, and it's not, because there's a ship in the way. Day shapes on power boats. So we talked about the anchor ball, and there's the anchor ball, harder to see the larger the vessel gets. So there's the anchor ball on a ship. There it is. And here is a combination of all the lights we've just talked about on one sheet. If it's got explosives on board, it will show a red light. So it's exactly the same anchor lights plus a red light that shows explosives on board. So single white light. So if you see a single white light, it could be a number of things. Let's just have a look at them. Could be a stern light for almost any vessel. Could be an anchor light for a vessel under 50 meters. Could be a vessel under motor, length under 7, speed under 7 knots. Could be a vessel under oars or rowing boat with a torch. Let's look at some questions, see how we've done. So we pose the questions, you pause, answer, then carry on. So under these questions, only coloured lights are boats under sail only. So if you've just got coloured lights, it's boats under sail. Green on the starboard, red on the port, both from the front. Coloured and white lights, it's boats under power. So one white light under 50 meters, 2 white lights over 50 meters. If there's only white lights, it's either anchor or astern. So what's this then? So power-driven vessel, over 50 meters, starboard side. How do I know it's starboard side? It's got a green light. How do I know it's power-driven? It's got 2 steaming lights. How do I know it's over 50 meters? It's got 2 steaming lights rather than 1. What's this then? Well, we can see the port and starboard light, and we can see a white light above. So it's got coloured and white lights. So it's a power-driven vessel. See both the port and starboard, so it's head on. So it's head on, power-driven vessel, only 1 steaming light, so it's under 50 meters. So power vessel, under 50 meters from the front. So what's this? It's a green light, no other lights. So if it's just a coloured light, it's a sailing boat. So it's a sailing boat, and we can see the starboard side. How big is it? It could be any size. If it is a larger boat, it's more likely to have the optional all-round red over green. But it's a sailing boat, any size. So sailing vessel, starboard side. What's this then? Okay. It has coloured and white, so it's a power-driven vessel. We can see the red, we can see the green. It's coming straight towards us. We can see 2 white lights lined up. So it's a power-driven vessel coming straight towards us. 2 steaming lights, so it's over 50 meters. So power vessel, over 50 meters from the front. What's this then? Well, it's just coloured lights, so it's a sailing boat. We can see port and starboard, the red and the green, so it's coming straight towards us, but they're close together, so it's a sailing boat coming straight towards us, more likely to have tricolour light. There's lots of useful applications. The RYA do the international regulations provisions at sea. There's other books around. The Seaman's Guide to Rules of the Road, a really good explanation of the rules. Obviously, we'll cover it all in our Dayskipper course. So that's navigation lights on the international regulation, the prevention of collision at sea. Thanks very much for watching. We hope you've enjoyed it, and we hope you watch the other videos we have with city sailing. If you have liked it, please tell your friends, and please like and subscribe. Thanks very much. Have a cracking day. See you later. It's Paul. Bye.